find ourselves in a seat. And I want to encourage you to have your hips above your knees. So what this looks like is you could be sitting in seiza, meaning you're on your heels with your knees bent. Otherwise, unless you're in full lotus, because there's some locking mechanism of the way they put the knees down, I really want to encourage you to put your pelvis on a prop or sit in a chair, even if you're not used to it. Reason being is, and you can take your hands, put one on the sacrum and one kind of on the sacral plexus in the front of the body. And for a lot of us, we'll look at this more today, for a lot of us there's a tendency to either lose this lumbar curvature, which we round and the shoulders tend to follow, the neck follows, right? So we tend to do something like this. It's called counternutation, something I tend towards. And the opposite extent is hyper-nutation, where there's something that looks kind of like this. And most of the population tends to do one of these things. They tend to be on one end of the spectrum, depending on how far, right? Everything's about spectrum. So the idea is, whether you're driving or at a computer or sitting on a meditation cushion, that there is this neutrality to the spine. We're not looking for a flat back. So one way to check is to lift your pelvis up and make sure you land right on your sits bones. If you have a tendency to land behind them, you counternutate. And if you have a tendency to land way in front of them, you hyper-nutate. So that will impact your whole yoga practice, depending on what your tendency is, and would impact the cues that would actually make sense for you.